everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. For everyone else, welcome back. I have already shared some books that I recommend or that I bought based solely on the cover, despite the don't judge a book by its cover proverb. But I also have a list of books here in front of me, or I have 5 books in front of me that I bought solely based on the title. The title is what grabbed me more than the art, more than the author. I just saw the title and it called to me. The first 3 I'm going to talk about, I have already read. And then the last 2, I still need to read, and hopefully recording this video for you will encourage me to do so. So the first one and the most recently read is How to Lose a Goblin in 10 Days. This one is by Jessie Sylvia, and for this one, the first time I saw this book, it was actually in hardcover at Barnes & Noble, sitting facing the cafe. And the title reminded me of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Now, the title for How to Lose a Goblin in 10 Days is slightly deceiving because our main character, Pansy, does get a book or read an article called How to Lose a Goblin in 10 Days. And it's where she gets her motivation to get a cat, which was really cute. But other than that, there are very few parallels in the book and the movie. How to Lose a Goblin in 10 Days follows Pansy, a halfling. I almost wanted to say a hobbit. That's not right. A halfling whose grandmother has passed away, and Pansy has inherited her grandmother's house. When she goes to take possession of her grandmother's little cottage, she finds out that the goblin Rin has been living there. Now, instead of Pansy just kicking Rin out, she and Rin come to an agreement that whoever leaves first loses possession of the house. And so we have Pansy and Rin trying to drive each other out of the house. This is a really, really cute, cozy fantasy. If you enjoyed The Hobbit, if you enjoy, probably even if you enjoyed, what is that one? It's the encyclopedia one. So if you enjoyed Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, I think that you might enjoy this one as well. Although I can't guarantee that one because I have not read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies yet. It is on my TBR, but I have not gotten there yet. Hopefully soon. All right, up next is How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. In this one, we have Davi, and she is stuck in a strange time loop. She is woken up one day in this pool of water, and there is a magician in front of her, telling her exactly what she needs to do to stop the Dark Lord from taking over the realm. After thousands of years of this, she decides she's done trying to defeat the Dark Lord. She's going to become the Dark Lord herself. And so through this, she goes and works really hard to figure out how to uh, ingratiate herself with the orcs and the other creatures of this world. I really, really enjoyed this one. If you like to hear the thoughts of the bad guy, as it were, then this one is a great one to read. Um, I liken this one to starter villain, or I mean, even to go back as far as to elementary school reading, where we read the true story of the three little pigs told from the wolf's point of view. I've always loved books like this where that we hear the story from the other side. So, um, this one, another one that I bought just because of the title. Another book that I bought for the title, very similar to choosing my books based on the cover. This one was purchased because it's called The Midnight Library. In this one, Matt Haig writes about a woman who is at the end of her life. She's between life and death. And once she enters into the Midnight Library, she gets to see all the different turns that her life could have taken. And it's just this really heartwarming tale um, about how the different choices we make can shape our lives and make them better or worse. I really enjoyed this one when I read it. It's been quite a few years. I did read it when shortly after it came out in 2020. So I think I read it in 2021, but really enjoyed it. The audiobook was spot on for this one. But Midnight Library by Matthew Haig, just a great one. If you're looking for that heartwarming ending, but seeing a character really struggle through the midpoints. Turning to a book that I picked because of the title, but have not yet read, and that is A Most Agreeable Murder by Julia Seals. This one, just the cover really reminded me of Pride and Prejudice. And while that's not my favorite, I'm not a big Jane Austen lover. I know, shame me in those comments. Um, I'm not a big Jane Austen reader, but this cover just really, or I'm sorry, this title along with the cover just really reminded me of something along those lines that you could expect in that. I think also I had just read the synopsis for another book that is a Jane Austen offshoot, and I think I thought for a moment when I grabbed this one that it was similar and or was that book, and it turned out not being. But here is the synopsis. Feisty, passionate Beatrice Steele has never fit the definition of a true lady, according to the strict code of conduct that reigns in Swampshire, her small English township. She is terrible at needlework. She has absolutely no musical ability, and her artwork is so bad it frightens people. Nevertheless, she lives a perfectly agreeable life. But she harbors a dark secret. she is obsessed with true crime. If anyone in her etiquette obsessed community found out, she'd be deemed a morbid creep and banished from respectable society forever. For her family's sake, she's vowed to put her obsession behind her. Eligible bachelor Edmund Croaksworth is set to attend the approaching autumnal ball, and the Steele family hopes that their younger daughter, Louisa, will steal his heart. So Beatrice must be on her best behavior. A difficult challenge when a disgraced yet alluring detective inexplicably shows up to the ball. Beatrice is just holding things together when Croaksworth drops dead in the middle of a minuet. A storm rages outside. The evening descends into a frenzy of panic, fear, and betrayal as it becomes clear that the guests are trapped with a killer. Contending with competitive card games, tricky tonics, and Swampshire's infamous squelch holes, Beatrice must rise above decorum and decency to pursue justice and her own desires before anyone else is murdered. Um, so another thing to mention when I picked this one, when this title grabbed my attention and I picked it up, was I was in the process of rereading Christie Agatha's The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. So I know that my mystery antennae were attuned for another good mystery. But I'm going to give this one a shot and hopefully let you know soon what I thought. All right, and the last book that I'm going to share with you today is The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. You can't even read this. This is all in foil, so I got to be careful. This one, irony of the title really caught my attention and made me want to pick this one up. So let's see what this one says. A young woman is in love with a successful surgeon. A man torn between his love for her and his incorrigible womanizing. His mistress, a free-spirited artist, lives her life as a series of betrayals, while her other lover, earnest, faithful, and good, stands to lose everything because of his noble qualities. In a world where lives are shaped by irrevocable choices and fortuitous events, and everything occurs but once, existence seems to lose its substance, its weight. Hence, we feel the unbearable lightness of being. A major, okay, that's just going on into the title, or into the author's writing. And the author is a Franco-Czech novelist. He's lived in France since 1975. This one, I know that I picked it up around the time that I read The Borrowed Life of Bernard Fife. No, that's not right. The Borrowed Life of Frederick Fife. And just that feeling, those feelings of not being important, or kind of trying to deal with life in those ways. In the messiness of life, I've just really grabbed my attention. And so I'm going to give this one a shot as well. Hopefully the light's not hitting too much. And we'll see what I think. But there are 5 titles that I bought solely based on the cover, 3 of which I have been recommending left, right, and center to everyone who asks me for a book recommendation, depending on who the person is. So I Really hope that if you give any of these a try, that you enjoyed them as much as I have. I'll see you next time. Bye.